came to First Christian 2001. I was a youth minister at Argonne Hills Chapel Center on Fort Meade, and my wife and I decided that before we had children, we wanted to find an actual church where the chaplain didn't leave out every 3 years. We wanted a place where we can actually grow. So I threw one of my annual youth, it was a youth event, our annual youth event, and the guest speaker was George Tarrant. And I told him at the beginning that this is my last time being here. And he was like, "What? You got fired?" I was like, "No, I didn't get fired, but it's just time to move on." And he's like, "What church you going to?" I was like, "Wherever I can help out somebody that needs a youth minister." So George Tarrant recommended I come visit First Christian Community Church. Had a lot of kids there, but no real youth leader. So I told my wife about it, and we said, okay, let's go visit a couple of churches, not just that one, but all the churches we visited. First Christian really was just the one that we felt comfortable with. So I just remember putting together a resume and bio for Pastor K before our meeting, and she was like, "We don't have a paid position." I was like, "That's good, because I'm not trying to get paid. I already got a job. I just want to come and help out the kids."
Everybody needs a Pastor Darrell. Every pastor needs a Pastor Darrell.
Kind, but strict. No nonsense. Serious, but yet friendly.
Pastor Darrell is the serious one, really serious. But when he speaks, number one, you're going to listen, and it's going to be something profound. But he can also be very funny.
Cool, calm, and collected. Subdued, chill. Know all the movies, though. I'm a little jealous of that part. Like, know all the movies. Like, movies is his thing.
Darrell is you can tell he's come from the military. He's no nonsense kind of guy. If you say be there at 8 o'clock, he's going to be there at 7:59. I think with him, if you're there at 8, you're late.
Oh, I call him the general.
Oh, leadership. First word that comes to mind.
Pastor Darrell understands leadership. He understands leadership. He knows how leadership should look. He knows how people are supposed to respond to leadership. He is about discipline.
And he has compassion. He has a heart for the people of God, to the point whether it's a good thing, a bad thing, if you cry, he gonna cry. You're gonna have to get him some tissues because he gonna cry, because he feels it. And he exhibits what he preaches about.
I think we went on a retreat. Yeah, we went on a retreat. And Ricky was his roommate.
Oh, we saw that.
Yeah. And Ricky just I think Ricky was a little cautious about Darrell being his roommate. You know what I mean? But it turned out fine. The stories that Ricky would bring back to us, we would have us laughing, but that's when I really, through Ricky, I learned the human side of Pastor Darrell.
When people associate him as military, oftentimes military is like, oh, that's his military background, that's his military behavior. But that military behavior comes in handy when we're talking leadership, when we're talking accountability, because Pastor Darrell is 100% leadership driven.
If you want somebody to really instruct, teach, guide people, other leaders on how to be a leader, how to be submissive, mutually submitting, then Pastor Darrell is the one.
And here, when Pastor Darrell speaks, we listen.
The pastors have different opinions. We have different insights, different backgrounds. So if there's a topic that needs to be discussed or hammered out, everybody gets to share their opinion. Everybody gets to do a free-for-all of their thoughts. But when bottom line comes in, Pastor Darrell is like, okay, everybody done stated it. Now, which way are we falling in line? And that's what you see is shared views, but one formation when it comes to how we present to the partners. And Pastor Darrell ensures that that happens.
From the time we met, we had a sacred bond. Obviously, we both are in military and have served time in military. And so we have that kindred spirit, if you would. But the brother has been real. I mean, and we've had some real intimate conversations about life, about family, about ministry, and just about servanthood. We worked together in the youth ministry for years, but he's been a brother I can lean on for anything in any conversations. He's been that kind of a person, and I've always cherished our relationship, regardless of the conversation, the topic, but the person that he is has always been one who's been real.
Pastor Darrell was our closer at one time. Nobody got an altar call like Pastor Darrell.
Can anybody do an altar call like Pastor Darrell? Pastor Darrell's altar call, he's straightforward. He doesn't yell. He doesn't get all excited. But he will have a fruitful altar call.
Dead quiet in the church, 30 people at the altar because everybody was listening. Because he just has that anointing.
Pastor Darrell, I call the altar pastor. He speaks quietly, meekly, but honorably. And it's not so much how he says it, it's what he says. And he, through God's power, has become a magnet for the altar.
He taught me how to stay true to yourself. Because when you're a young pastor, young preacher, you're trying to find your voice. You're trying to figure out what is really my approach. What am I comfortable with? Or do I need a sound? What am I trying to do what the people want to hear? But Pastor Darrell is the one that showed me, be who God called you to be, and God is going to bless no matter however you speak, whether you're a loud preacher or whether you're a soft-spoken preacher.
He's a teacher, and he's anointed from God for what he has done in this community called First Christian.
If you go back in Pastor Darrell's history, I met him as he came in as a youth minister of the church. But the cool thing about him is that he understood that you can only do youth ministry for so long. You can't be an older person leading little kids. So you got to have some fresh blood. So he always knows timing.
But some people say, well, Pastor Darrell, you're already kind of old and lost your ways. Why don't you just retire now? And I go, retire now? I think I'm still at the top of my game. Why would I leave all the saving to Pastor K and Pastor Queen? I don't think so.